All right, Kevin, back with you for another episode of the $1 Million Relationships Podcast. And today I'm here with Jacob Lawson. Jacob, awesome to have you on the show, man.
It certainly is, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you are so welcome. It is my pleasure. I have been looking forward to this, and I got to start out. I don't have to start out. I want to start out by giving a shout out to Jessica over at the podcast guest platform because she's been kind of like she started reaching out to me a couple of years ago because I've been using their platform, and apparently they had been hearing some good reviews about from guests who had been on my show, and so they were like, she reached out and said, "Hey, we'd like to do a promo for you, and get you some more guests." And I was like, "Wow, okay, how much is it?" And all that. She goes, "Kevin, it's nothing for you to do that. We just want to do that. We've been hearing such great things." And so we did that. That was a great experience. And ever since, she's been reaching out to me probably 2 or 3 times, maybe 4 times a month, saying, "Hey, why don't you go check out so and so on the podcast play on the directory, because I think they would make a great fit for your show." And that's what she did for you, Jacob. And so I checked out your listing in their directory. Then I dug a little bit deeper, went and looked at one of the interviews, and I got to say, I love seeing that sign behind you because I saw you do another interview with that sign, and I actually paused it so I could look and read through it. And I'm like, this is my kind of guy right here, man. so,
They
so
they are an incredible platform, and it's been great for me. I just stumbled upon them not too long ago, maybe a month or two ago, through
okay,
another interview that I did, and it's been awesome.
that's awesome. That
I
is
really
awesome.
enjoy it. They are super connectors. They are connecting a
Yes.
lot of people.
Yes, they are. Well, what I want to do is to start with, Jacob, is I want to turn over to you so that we can set a little bit of context here. And I want you to share a little bit about, what you do, who you serve, what inspires you most about the work you guys are doing, the impact you're making in the world. And we'll start there, Jacob.
All right. So Jacob Lawson, owner of my primary source of income and my primary portfolio is Extraordinary Flooring. I have been a decorative concrete coating and polishing contractor for over 20 years now.
Okay.
That is how I bring the money home for to pay the bills and feed the family. And my second portfolio is my passion project, and that is my Make It Extraordinary movement. It is where I believe I will make my life's legacy on helping people create, define, and achieve their own version of an extraordinary life, finding that extraordinary talent that they have inside of them and sharing it, whether they're sharing it with the world, their family, their friends, their teammates, whatever it is. Like, I feel that everybody has some sort of extraordinary quality within. And sometimes they're a little afraid to unleash it, or they just don't know how extraordinary it may be,
Yeah.
and that's part of my movement, is to inspire people to figure out what that is and bring it out of them and share it with the world.
I love that. I love that. And so give us an example. I mean, do you have an example you can share of somebody that you've impacted through that process that you're just like incredibly proud of that relationship that you've had with them?
Yeah, I've got quite a few. And it really just starts by leading by example and leading from my heart. This part of the legacy play that I'm trying to make is, at this point, it's not really about any money or any kind of business plan.
Yep.
It's really just coming from the heart. I put out a daily motivational video every morning when I work out.
Okay.
And it just started from, talking to myself in the mirror. And I was talking to myself in the mirror every single day. I'd kind of be inspired to say something. And then I was like, Jake, you got to share this. You shouldn't just be saying this to yourself. You should be sharing this. There's other people that need to hear the same thing that you're saying, and and it'll inspire, when they hear and see these. And so it's been very, very interesting and very cool when I unsuspectingly get different people in my life that'll come up to me and tell me how much of an impact that's made. um I had a longtime best friend who moved away basically across the country, and we kept in touch a little here, a little there. But of course, we weren't in the same level we were in high school and all of that stuff. And he went down a pretty dark road with some drug abuse and things of that nature. And through no help of mine, got himself out of that dark road. But through the inspiration and the guidance and the leadership that I've led by example and showed and worked with, he has just taken on his own incredible outer journey, and he is now helping just so many in his town of North Dakota. Mr. Brandon Guidry, the Raging Cajun, they call him. He is has his own sober talk radio show and personality, and he is helping just a large amount of that community with substance abuse and getting out of it and getting out of these rehab programs. And he's been one of, he, for lack of a better word or no other better, out of his own mouth, he calls me his hero. And he's a hero to others, so many others now. And for as much as I inspired him, he now inspires the heck out of me. Like what he's created and the movement that he's created and the lives he's changing. He's just one of those incredible cases that just really gives me goosebumps every time he shows me the things he's doing and the lives he's changing.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Yeah. I can see how that would be so inspiring for you. And like, not only did you impact his life personally, but wow, how many other lives are now being impacted as a result of that one relationship that you and he have? That's powerful. That is powerful. And of course, what a testament to the power of relationships.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And just game changing and life changing. And it's a never ending cycle.
Yeah.
And I tell people, first change yourself, and then without trying at all, you'll start changing others around you, and that's a never ending cycle
Yes.
of giving to the world. Right. But it starts with yourself. You can't help anybody change if you gotta fix yourself first. Right.
Yeah.
So,
That's right.
And that's a huge thing that just never ends and keeps on giving. And for the lack of a corny term, it makes the world a better place.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Well, okay. So now that we've got a little bit of context set, I want to switch gears just a little bit. So I'm going to reiterate the question for the benefit of our listeners. So, Jacob, have you ever been introduced to a person or persons who completely changed the course of your life or your business, so much so that much of what you have today would not be possible if not for this person or persons? And I'm just really excited to hear your story and your experience around this topic of relationships.
Wow, there's a long and a short to that. And
Okay.
I would say, I'll start off by saying my book, Make It Extraordinary, 27 Life-Changing Lessons to Help You Elevate Beyond the Ordinary, is a book where I took all of the biggest life lessons of my life and put them down on paper, put a story behind them and put a lesson behind them. But just as importantly as putting all of those lessons on paper was paying the homage to all the mentors that helped shape my life through this whole journey of my 42 years, right? Got a long way to go, right? But thus far. And so, to put the stamp on the life is too many to mention in an hour long podcast. But if you had me go down to one, I would have to say that the one person that's got me exactly on this journey that I'm currently on,
Okay,
is my trainer, Jay Ferrugia of Renegade Fitness.
all right.
Obviously, I was at a certain point and had many talents and many experiences and wins and losses and all of this stuff when I got to him. But I got to him right at 40 years old. And I have been love fitness and love sports, mixed martial arts, wrestling, weightlifting, CrossFit, all of these things. I've had lovely relationship with a gym almost all of my life, but I've also, being from New Orleans, had a lovely relationship with eating and drinking. So being in the best shape of my life or being in the shape I wanted to be in my life has always been a yo-yo effect ever since high school. Ever since high school and high school wrestling, I would lose 40 pounds every single year to wrestle the weight that I wanted to weigh. And then by the summer would go by, and then by the time we got back to the wrestling season, I'd be at 40 pounds again. And that started a pretty vicious cycle throughout my life of, every year or two, I would have to lose that 30 to 50 pounds due to, I'd still be working out, but I wouldn't eat right. I'd go to the gym and then, eat and drink and party and king cake and gumbo and everything else that comes in New Orleans food, right? And so at 40 years old, I tried to lose. I was like, all right, about to turn 40, and I want to get in the best shape of my life. And I did my best to do it on my own. I lost some weight and I got pretty good shape again, but I didn't hit that mark that I was looking for. And I was like, all right, well, Jake, you want to reach new levels. Sometimes you got to get new coaches. Sometimes you got to get some help. You got to get some help to do this. And my father had been following this guy for many years. He's been, muscle fitness, all kind of, things for many years, training men over 40 is his main specialty.
Okay.
And so I linked on with him and I joined that program to get in the best shape of my life. But what I didn't know was going to come with that program was a lot of mental and mindset shifts along with that. And, to get in the best shape of your life, sometimes and most of the time may only be this one time. You're like reaching for this peak, and then, so many people get there, the New Year's resolution, the 3 months hard, and then go back, right? Well, that's kind of a cycle I had in my life. And but the mindset shift that came with his coaching really is kind of what sparked my whole new evolution on my legacy play. And as we mentioned earlier, he was the one that asked me that question, Jake, what do you want written on your tombstone?
Mm-hmm.
And when we were in a group of, a circle of 10 or 15, all somewhat successful, all guys doing their thing and doing good things in this world, and everybody's got these different reasons and these different things, and I had never thought about it until that moment. And it took me a while, and I pondered on it, and what I came up with is he was a conduit for personal evolution.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was just one of the things that started kickstarting this movement of, I know I want to change lives. I know I want to help people. I know I want to inspire people. I know that I can help people bring more out of what they have, more of their talents, more of their extraordinary capabilities. And so to me, that was really the start of this whole catalyst that led to me becoming proficient in my social media, start using that in multiple channels. It's what led me to writing my book. It's what led me to getting on these podcasts. It's what led me to where make it extraordinary used to be my flooring motto, and now it's my life motto.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta give a shout out to Jay Ferrugia at Renegade Fitness. To any men trying to get their mind, body, and soul in the right shape, he'll get you there.
Yeah. Wow. What an incredible relationship, and what a this amazing, like, just completely natural and organic byproduct. You're focusing on your health and getting in the best shape of your life, but look at all the other things that came from that that you didn't go to Jay because of that, but yet it naturally and organically came from that. And now all these other things, your book and the videos that you do every day, and just communicating with people and just sharing and just having that kind of impact, that now you are impacting so many other lives because of this one relationship, and
You said it. You said
man,
it.
that is mind blowing, Jacob. That is absolutely mind blowing when you think about that. And you're 2 years into this relationship. I can only imagine the journey that this has been for you, but I can also only imagine how excited you are for where you are right now, but even where you are going to go with this. So, from your vantage point that you're at right now, what can you see? If I were, I have one of my mentors is a guy, Dan Sullivan, who is the founder of a company called Strategic Coach. And he is one of the most brilliant question askers I know. He knows how to just ask amazing questions that get you to think about things in a different way. And one of the questions I learned from him, I love asking of entrepreneurs, and I'm going to ask you now, Jacob, is, if you and I we're talking a year from today, what would have had to happen with what you're doing right now for you to just be really ecstatic with your results and where you've gone in that year?
So it's two-sided. I'm still constantly growing. Extraordinary Flooring. It is still my baby. It is 20 years in deep, and I feel like we are still getting started in so many ways. We are growing our brand. We're growing our recognition. We're growing our position in this greater New Orleans area, and continually slowly expanding that. So that is definitely still one of my primary focuses. And then on the legacy side, to continue building this Make It Extraordinary community, and continue having these so many unsuspected people that just reach out from the blue and tell me how I'm changing their lives and tell me what kind of a difference I'm making. And I just said a message the other day, and the most surprising ones are the ones that I already admire. When the guys that I admire are coming back and telling me how I'm sparking something in them and how I'm inspiring them to do something, it gives me goosebumps. It really, those are the really unsuspecting ones, because right now everything's just organic. There's no, of course there's business plans for the future, and there's communities that I want to grow, and just millions I want to inspire over my lifetime. But right now it's just all organic from the heart.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you don't see a lot of movement or a lot of traction, and then out of the blue, somebody, I mean, just this weekend, just this Saturday, a guy that I really look up to tells me he had just lost his father. And so we got into a deep conversation. It's like, Jake, I ain't never told you, but you don't know how much you're inspiring me, how much you're getting me to focus on this and focus on that and change the way I view things. And when somebody that I already admire is telling me that they're admiring me, that's really like, it's those unsaid moments and those unexpected moments that say, Jake, you're on the right path. Just keep going. Just keep following your heart. Just keep going. This thing is still young, and so am I. And so many times everything is relative. You can Somebody can look at me and tell me that, I'm crushing it and I'm doing so much. And then I can look at the people that I admire
Mhm.
and look up to and know that I've got so far to go. Right. But everything is relative, and everything, and what I call it is one of my things is in God's divine time.
Yeah.
It's just keep going that path, keep following my heart, keep putting it out there as I feel it. And everything's going to happen in God's divine time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you're right. We can always look I mean, I see it all the time in my world because I am surrounded by entrepreneurs who are doing such big stuff, and we can always look at somebody else and go like, man, it's a reminder of like, wow, look at how much more opportunity there still is, and I feel, I'll turn 60 years old later this year, and I feel in so many ways that I'm just now really starting to figure stuff out.
Wow, you don't look 60, so that's awesome. And the energy you have, man, that's great. I love it.
Well, I think that, I mean, I am definitely blessed in what I get to do, and just spending time and really getting to know entrepreneurs who are doing such amazing things in this world, and being able to just bring those entrepreneurs together so that they can co-create and collaborate together. Because I'll tell you what, when you get like-minded entrepreneurs together who share core values and man, and just encourage. And even more, I'm more, it's more than encourage. I'm really forthright sometimes. And I'm like, you guys need to talk. We're not leaving this chance. And in fact, we're going to set up a Zoom call. I'm going to get on Zoom with you to make sure that this starts going in the right direction and stuff and get this thing kicked off, because I see something really big here. And it's really an amazing experience, and it's a humbling experience. And I can tell you too are just totally inspired by what you do, and there's no hiding that. And so that's why people are just attracted to you. And I mean, man, and I'm just so glad that you and I got to connect and have this conversation today, so that I can help put you in front of a lot more of the right kind of entrepreneurs who are going to be like, dang, Kev, I really like Jacob, man. and and so, for those who might be kind of sitting here right now thinking to themselves like that, man, Kev, I totally love Jacob. I love the way he shows up. He mentioned his book. I'd like to find out more about him. What any resources, any websites we can share with them, Jacob, so they can follow up and get to know more about you?
Definitely, definitely. So makeitextraordinary.co is the
Okay.
website. There are links to the book there. You can always find the book on Amazon, Make It Extraordinary, 27 life-changing lessons to help you elevate beyond the ordinary. My main primary Instagram handle is make_it extraordinary. I've got that on a few channels.
Okay.
And Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of that good stuff. Um, LinkedIn, Jacob Lawson, and Extraordinary Flooring, extraordinaryflooring.com for anybody in the greater New Orleans area needing some polished concrete or epoxy coatings, some extraordinary flooring. We could definitely provide that for them as well. But yeah, make it extraordinary is the thing, is the thing to remember. I'm the
Yeah.
only one out there with it. And this is my brand, this is my legacy play, this is my lifelong thing. This is what I will be known for.
Yeah.
To bring it back to Jay, he's the first one that introduced me to the word super connector, and without a doubt you carry that title. That is one of your extraordinary qualities. You are a super connector. You love it, just like you said. When you don't just want to connect people. It's like, no, I've got to make this connection. This
Yeah.
is not just, I'm not just passing a number along. No. We're going to get on a Zoom. We've got to make this connection because that's how strong I feel. And that's one of your extraordinary qualities. You
Yeah.
are a super connector. That's, how many lives have you changed? And then when you make those connections, how many lives get changed from that? Right. So it just keeps going. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing.
Well, it's one thing, and for years I sent emails to make introductions for entrepreneurs. I've been doing this for 20 years, and that was effective to an extent, and it was also ineffective to an extent, because as great as those connections were, entrepreneurs are busy. And they got those emails, and maybe one person responded and the other didn't, or maybe both of them responded and like, yeah, let's make a time to connect, and they never followed through for whatever reason. A lot of people did, and great things came from that, but there was so much of this that was not getting followed through. And I'm like, you know what? You need to be more intentional about this, Kev. You need to convey your thoughts and let people know how important you feel this is, because without doing that, they're not going to understand the importance of it. And so we started becoming far more assertive. and so, and
Love that. That's 1,000% more effective because, like you said, good intentions set aside, there's so many relationships that I'd love to build, and then unless that everything aligns,
yeah,
it can slip through the cracks, and it's like on to the next thing. And as entrepreneurs, we're always on go mode. Like There's no, it's just not much downtime, right?
Yeah.
We're always on go mode,
Yeah.
right? So things really have to align for the right connections to make sense,
Yes.
especially if they're outside of like direct business, right? It's like we want this relationship, but it's not because we have this direct business goal at this very second. Business may happen over time, right? But it's sometimes it takes that direct business gets the full attention, right? And it's these outside relationships that really have to happen organically and have to fall in line to really blossom. And what you're doing is you're actually not just giving somebody a seed, but you're planting it, right? You're making sure that it's getting nurtured in order to possibly grow, right? There's a big difference, right? So
Absolutely.
that's very cool, very
Yeah.
cool. That's a big lesson to take away. I
Yeah.
like that.
Well, Jacob, any last thing that you feel led to share before we call it a wrap today?
Look, I'm gonna keep harping on it. Look, my thing is I feel very strongly that everybody has some extraordinary quality in their heart, in their abilities, in their bodies, and something they do, whether it's connecting relationships, whether it's as simple as having great conversation, making people laugh, being an extraordinary teacher, being an extraordinary coworker, whatever those talents are. And to me, the word extraordinary can be overwhelming to a lot of people and seem unachievable. Like it's
Mhm.
only for the rich and famous and the lavish lives of the rich and famous. And extraordinary is just something extra on top of ordinary. It's that stamp, that extra push, that extra effort that you make instead of just saying, "Hey, call Jim. I think y'all would be great together." You said, "No, hey, I want to get on a Zoom call and connect y'all and tell y'all how I feel it's so important that we connect." Right? You're putting that extra effort into that connection, right? And so I'm really, you can take the word for the biggest examples of it, but it really doesn't have to be this lavish example to be extraordinary. It's just something extra on top of that
Yeah.
ordinary
Yeah.
effort that makes that word, as simply as it's broken down, extraordinary.
Yeah.
And it's my goal over my lifetime to break that down to more achievable um, grasps for the everyday person, because the everyday person has something extraordinary that they can share, and maybe they just don't know it, right? And so at the long and short of it, that's my play is to break that down into so many ways and make life a little bit more extraordinary for everybody.
Amen. Amen. Well, I'll tell you what, for any of you listening to this, we'll make sure and include websites and links with the episode and the show notes there and stuff. Go check out Jacob's stuff if he resonates with you. And Jacob, once again, thank you so much for taking the time to have this conversation today. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate you, man.
Oh, thank you for having me, Kev. This was definitely a pleasure. $1 million relationships. It's so cool to see how many you're building, and connecting people together is a powerful thing. And one relationship can change your life.
Amen.
One
Amen.
relationship, you're one meeting away from somebody who can change your life.
Yeah.
So that is a powerful thing.
Absolutely. Well, have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.